YouTube, man. It's your boy Mari, and we back with another video. Hold on, I just seen something, bro. Bro, I knew it, bro. I'm looking at the video, like, my forehead look big as shit, bro. Like, bro, my forehead never used to be this big, bro. I used to have a box tape. Look now, bro. I got a fucking 5 head, bro. I'm about to go bald, bro. For real, but fuck that. Besides that, how Funny Mike went from killing people to a comedian. If you didn't know, Funny Mike, before he was Funny Mike, he was 22 Savage. They say 21, bitch. This 22. They say, I'm telling you that he was really like that, but now he a family man. He going crazy right now. Streaming University. I wish I would have reacted to that, but he went crazy, man. Shout out to Funny Mike, but it's how he became a comedian from a killer
to becoming a family-friendly YouTuber stacking millions. Funny Mike's story is one of the wildest flips the internet's ever seen.
Nah, for
Before
sure.
the pranks, the challenges, and the family skits, he was MacArthur Johnson, a kid from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, a city where you better keep that thing on you or you might end up a pack. But how does someone go from facing life in prison to building one of the biggest kids-friendly YouTube channels? And is the past really behind him, or is it still waiting to catch up? MacArthur Johnson, born October 8th, 1996, grew up in the trenches of Baton Rouge. In his own words, growing up in Baton Rouge meant that
growing up in Baton Rouge, man, you don't do something that's not in the street-wise, you're going to end up in jail or dead.
The hood shaped him, pushing him toward the trap life as a young hustler, just trying to make it out. Johnson had his fair share of run-ins with the law as a young bull. He caught some cases and spent time in juvie for throwing hands and other charges he's been reluctant to speak on. In his Vlad TV interview, he mentioned that he would always burn it out, meaning he'd beat those cases quick and never had to do a long bid.
Like, how much time do you think you spent in juvenile altogether?
Oh, juvenile? I ain't spent that long in juvenile. I had burned it out.
Like many young men looking for a way out of their circumstances, Johnson turned to music. Baton Rouge has a rich hip-hop history, with artists like Boosie being major influences on the youth there. In fact, Johnson has stated that Boosie was his biggest influence growing up, saying he was listening to Boosie before Kevin Gates. Before finding success, Johnson went through a series of different personas and names, trying to find what would stick. He went by Lit Mac on the track, Lit Guno, Mighty Mike, and Girl He Funny at different points.
So, what was the first name?
My first name was Lil Mac.
Lil Mac.
On the track.
Lil Mac on the track.
Yeah, see, that was my first.
Pimp?
Slap them hoes down, for real. But that was one of my rap names.
Initially, he tried to make it as a rapper, but when that wasn't taking off, he pivoted to comedy on social media.
Bro, I remember that, bro.
His relatable comedy
nah, that shit actually funny right there. I remember that, bro.
Childhood experiences started getting traction. Johnson explained that
Crackhead Bobby, that's it. Crackhead Bobby.
Seeing comedy.
I know y'all remember Crackhead Bobby, dog.
After rapping wasn't taking off for me, you know what I'm saying? I started then try to see what can I, get out of it, you know what I'm saying? But then shit just started going up, you know what I'm saying?
So you get in the Instagram comedian thing, right? And one situation took off, on the Instagram.
This hustle and willingness to adapt would eventually pay off, but not before a major controversy and legal trouble that nearly derailed everything. In 2016, when Atlanta rapper 21 Savage was gaining popularity, Johnson made a strategic move that would change his trajectory. During a freestyle, he dropped the line, "This ain't 21, this 22," and people caught on.
Bro, that shit. Bro, y'all, bro, that shit went hard. I ain't gonna lie. That went hard to me. Had that in the playlist. I had that in the playlist, man.
To adopt the persona of 22 Savage, a clear parody of 21 Savage.
Yeah, it was just a freestyle.
And I think them boys are like, beefing a little bit.
This 22, well, skirt, and then everybody just fucked with it.
Johnson released a song called Jumpin' as 22 Savage, which quickly gained traction. The audio alone was racking up thousands of plays within hours. And when he dropped the video, it exploded, reaching millions of views.
When you put out Jumpin', you put out his audio first.
Yeah, it did numbers like overnight. Like it was doing numbers like first hour it did 5,000.
But that shit's scary. If you ain't never had them type of numbers, like I'm doing this right now, I see y'all going crazy on that one. I think that destroying video, but that shit's scary, bro. I can't lie. I'm not used to it, bro. I gotta get used to it, man. I'm scared, man.
It's doing something, so that's
I'm scared.
You gotta do a visual to it. Visual out and just popped off.
The 22nd Savage character wasn't
That
just
shit
a
kinda
name.
scary.
Johnson adopted a similar look and flow to 21 Savage, stretching his words in a similar cadence. When asked if this was intentional, Johnson kept it a buck and admitted, "Yeah, that was done on purpose, just trying to fuck with him." He was straight trolling.
Do you think that anything was really gonna pop off, or this was just another like?
Nah, well, really, I didn't really think it was gonna be big as what it is, but I knew it was just gonna do plays and shit, but I didn't really think it was gonna be big as what it was.
But then you kind of look like 21 Savage a little bit.
Man, that's what
Then
they
he
say.
started. He was 22. Then another nigga came out 23 Savage. I think it was a 24 Savage. That shit was funny. That shit was
Music
funny.
industry and internet took notice. Blog
Funny
posts
mic-
started appearing about
He sounded
this
good though,
22
rapping though.
Savage character, and the controversy only fueled Johnson's growing fame. Many compared him to other artists who had found success through controversial imitation, like Young Thug with his Barter 6, playing off Lil Wayne's Carter series. What started as a parody soon escalated into
Dang.
a real beef. 21 Savage responded during a performance saying,
No.
acknowledging the copycat
No.
without directly addressing him.
So you got on stage and said, "Ain't no 22, ain't no 23."
Oh yeah, I seen that. I saw that.
What'd you think?
Ain't no 21.
Ain't
It's
no
22,
21.
you
Man,
know.
stop playing.
Johnson took this
Stop
as a
playing.
challenge. In interviews, he claimed that if 21 Savage had just ignored me, eventually it would have just faded away. Instead, the back and forth intensified.
Because all you really had to do is just ignore you.
Right.
Actually,
Just
it would have just
ignore
kind of
me,
faded
and
away.
Everything would have faded away. But
Right.
you know, he got no sense of, you know.
The situation escalated when Johnson challenged
Gave my
21
boy some
Savage
numbers.
to a boxing match, saying if 21 won, he would change his name. Even 50 Cent got involved, contacting Johnson about putting the fight on the undercard of a Mayweather boxing event.
Nah, that would've
According
went
to
crazy,
Johnson,
though.
They were going to put up 100 bands each for the fight, but 21
That would have went
Savage-
crazy. But you know, these new YNs, y'all scared to fight, man. These new YNs scared to fight, man.
Saying, "I don't box, I got them choppers."
See? See? That's how you know they saw you. That's how you,
But
bro.
Funny Mike, aka
That's how you know
22
it's-
Savage,
man.
responded and said he must have thought they stopped
Hate
making
that shit.
choppers when they made his, hinting that he with the shits.
Stay in the house, y'all.
As well.
21 Savage said,
Cause these boys ain't fight. They wanna grab a gun. Make no
"Maybe
sense.
box, you got them choppers."
Yeah.
How'd you feel when you heard that?
When he said that, I said, "Oh man, he must thought they stopped making choppers when they made his shit." You know what I'm saying?
No.
Yeah, they don't stop making choppers. Dick, anybody can get a chopper. Dick, you know what I'm saying?
The beef took an even darker turn when 21 Squad began posting threatening messages, including tombstone emojis over Johnson's pictures. This led to threats and declarations that ATL, 21 Savage's city, and BR, Johnson City, were now no-fly zones for each other, meaning if either one pulled up to the other's hood, it was on site. The internet beef was turning into some real street shit.
You know, that would really escalated the shit again, you hear me? Because that's when one of his homeboys, I don't know who he was, he put the little tombstones over my pictures. Whoop, then no plug. He
Can't
got
play like
the-
that.
He say, something, so I added him. I say, pull up. You know, that's when the whole city, you know, what up, pull up. You know what I'm saying?
You said that, what, Baton Rouge is a no-fly zone for them now?
Shit, it is a no-fly zone.
But while the internet beef was heating up, the streets had a different kind of smoke waiting. Before long, Funny Mike wasn't just playing Savage on records. He caught a real body in broad daylight. Amid the rise of the 22 Savage persona and the beef with 21 Savage, something far more serious occurred. On May 3rd, 2016, MacArthur Johnson was involved in a shooting that left 20-year-old Richard Phillips dead in the parking lot of a Baker Boulevard grocery store in Louisiana.
Good afternoon, I'm Cheryl Mercedes.
And I'm Greg Merriweather. A fight over a flyer for a birthday party has left one man dead and another charged with
Over
his
a
murder.
flyer?
The killing happened at a Baker convenience store, and this afternoon, Police Chief Mike Knaps announced a total of 3 arrests in this case. But the suspected shooter insists he did nothing wrong. You didn't fire a gun?
Self-defense.
So you did fire a gun.
Self-defense.
19-year-old MacArthur Johnson, police
Don't
say,
do no
turned
talking,
himself
man.
in
Let your
on
lawyer do
Wednesday
it.
morning after hearing he was wanted in a shooting overnight at the Baker Boulevard grocery
That's good.
store.
That's good. My boy got out of that, bro. He doing good for himself right now. That's good, man.
From a dispute over a birthday party flyer that had occurred 7 weeks earlier. On the night of the
petty
shooting,
shit, bro.
Johnson was in a car with Charmaine Wilson when they encountered Phillips, who was distributing flyers in the parking lot. Phillips was passing out party flyers in the parking lot, and he and Funny Mike were arguing over the flyers. After a brief conversation, Phillips and his companion Walter Williams Jr. slid off at first, but Phillips doubled back and pressed Funny Mike a second time. Mike said Phillips upped a strap on him, so Mike fired first, hitting him dead in the chest, claiming it was self-defense.
Self-defense.
So you did fire a gun?
Self-defense.
19-year-old MacArthur Johnson, police say, turned himself in on Wednesday morning after hearing he was wanted in a shooting overnight at the Baker Boulevard grocery store. Richard Phillips, known as Rah-Rah, also 19, died after being shot in the chest.
But here's the thing. Nobody ever confirmed if Phillips even had a pole on him, and whether it was real self-defense or not is still really shaky. Phillips ended up dying from the shot. Later that day, Funny Mike got booked along with 2 other dudes that were riding with him. They charged him with second-degree murder, illegal use of a weapon, and obstruction of justice. Mike admitted he squeezed the trigger, but tried to play the self-defense card. Problem is, the cops had video footage, and it didn't match his story. A report said they tried to lie and claimed Phillips was strapped, but one of the passengers folded when the feds showed him the surveillance footage, and the footage showed Phillips didn't have no gun. Funny Mike's bond got set at $370,000, but he had the bread and bonded out quick, at least for the moment. In interviews after the shooting, Johnson seemed ice cold about the serious charges hanging over his head. When asked how he felt with a murder case pending, he responded, "I don't feel no type of way. I don't think about it, just fuck it." This showed how desensitized he was to the streets. Man was facing decades, but acting like it wasn't nothing but a thing.
What? How I feel?
Yeah, with something like that hanging over your head.
I don't feel no type of way.
Man, in the inside, man, I know he was scared, man.
And the situation, you probably
know he's scared in the inside.
So,
Not about the situation, but about the court case that's coming up, or the plea deal that's coming up, or whatever is coming up in your future. Because one way or another, something's going to have to happen. So how do you just get by day after day?
I don't know. I don't think about it.
Just fuck it.
Fuck it.
But sometimes in the streets, it ain't about who's right or wrong, it's about what you can prove. And somehow, against all odds, Funny Mike finessed the system and slid out the back door clean. Now you're hearing all these and wondering why he's not in prison right now, despite all the evidence looking mad sketch. Johnson caught the biggest break of his life. In what shocked everybody, a grand jury decided not to indict him on the murder charges. This decision effectively meant the case wouldn't go to court, and Johnson was free to move forward with his life. He celebrated this outcome on Instagram, writing, "God is good. Second chance at life. Shout out to my team." Some have speculated about how Johnson managed to avoid indictment despite the evidence, including surveillance footage. But the details of the grand jury proceedings remain private. With the streets watching and the feds off his neck, Funny Mike knew he couldn't keep living on borrowed time. He had to reinvent himself before the next bullet or courtroom took him out for good. Following his legal troubles and the 22 Savage controversy, Johnson knew he needed to switch up his whole vibe. He eventually shelved the 22 Savage persona and fully embraced his new identity, Funny Mike. This wasn't actually a new wave, but rather a return to his comedic roots. Before the 22nd Savage character, he had already been building a following with comedy content, as 21 Savage explained in interviews. The comedy shit was working, so I guess he just went back to it.
Did you convince him to drop the whole 22 Savage thing?
I think he did that on his own, really. I ain't never asked him to stop. But he DM'd me like back then and apologized though. Like way back then. Not on no pussy shit, like on some man shit.
Yeah.
He said some shit. He just stopped doing it. But he was a comedian before the 22 shit, and it was working for him. The comedy shit was working. So I guess he just went back to it.
In 2016, he
now
created
look at him
his
now.
YouTube channel and began
Going crazy.
focusing on comedy skits, pranks, and lifestyle content. His authentic personality and humor resonated with audiences, and his channel grew rapidly. Johnson's content evolved over time, becoming more family-friendly as he himself matured and started a family. He began dating Jalea Monet, whom he met through social media, and the couple now have 2 children, a daughter named London, born in February 2019, and a son named MacArthur Johnson Jr., born in July 2020. Today, Funny Mike has built a straight-up media empire. His main YouTube channel is pushing over 6 million subscribers.
Almost
and he runs
14 million
additional
subscribers.
channels, including Funny Mike Gaming, Funny Mike Skits, and the the MJ Family channel with his girl Jalea, which has over 3 million subscribers by itself. His content now is all about pranks, challenges, and family vlogs. A complete 180 from his days as 22 Savage or his trouble with the law. He's estimated to be worth about 3 M's, all made legitimately through his social media hustle. That's according to Google. But I think he's
ain't gonna pocket. He more than 3 million. He worth more than that.
Wealth from crypto investments. A coin called Doge is what made him all these millions. Beyond YouTube, Johnson has kept dropping music under his Funny Mike persona, with tracks like DD3X, Small Wee Wee, and Monsters Under My Bed, showing a more lighthearted approach than his 22 Savage days. Johnson has also been giving back to the hood, organizing bike giveaways for kids in Baton Rouge who ain't got much, especially around Christmas time. He's spoken on the importance of putting on for your city, noting that many children don't get nothing for Christmas because their family can't afford it. A key part of Johnson's story is his connection to another Baton Rouge rapper who blew up, NBA YoungBoy, Kentrell Deshaun Galden. These two came up in the same trenches of Baton Rouge, both trying to make it out by any means. YoungBoy has shouted out Funny Mike in his music, with bars suggesting people mistakenly.
If I'm not mistaken, I think they used to hang with each other. Or be around each other.
Mike was soft when he was really about that life.
All you do is whistle. Past prison after central booking. They really thought Funny Mike was pussy. They really thought Funny Mike was pussy.
You heard that, boy? You heard that, boy?
This co-sign from one of the hottest rappers in the game adds another layer to Johnson's complex story and street credibility. Funny Mike's journey from the trenches of Baton Rouge to YouTube stardom is a story of transformation, second chances, and reinvention, straight up. While his past includes catching a body and controversial beef, he finessed his way into building a successful career as an entertainer. Today, the man once charged with murder creates content that millions of families watch daily. He's a father, entrepreneur, and content creator who's apparently left his troubled past behind. He really beat the system and changed his life around. His story raises mad questions about redemption, the justice system, and how people can switch up their whole lives. It also highlights the unique opportunities that platforms like YouTube provide for renovation and reaching audiences directly without traditional gatekeepers. Love him or hate him, Funny Mike's story shows that no matter how
Alright, we get it, man. That was a good video. We know Funny Mike went crazy, man. It's unfortunate what happened to other buddy who died, RIP. But Funny Mike, we already know, man, he trying to change his life for the better, which he did. He helped a lot of kids change their life, as in like blowing up and stuff. But I'm proud of Funny Mike, man. Just keep going, bro. You went crazy at the streaming university. Just keep doing your thing, man. And appreciate y'all watching. That's all I gotta say. We out, man. Yeah.